Welcome in the world of machine learning, a practical approach under machine learning using Python series of lectures. This is lecture 8, data sets and data pre-processing part 6. So this is the last lecture on this topic, that is data sets and data pre-processing. The contents of this lecture are, we are going to learn how to apply feature scaling in machine learning using Python. In the earlier lecture, we learned something about the statistical aspects of feature scaling. That is, we learned the mathematical approach used in feature scaling. But in this lecture, we'll see that how that complex things are implemented in Python using simple and very easy to learn APIs of Python. Now here feature scaling in Python is done by importing standard scalar class of the sklearn preprocessing library. Now we have already learned so many things about preprocessing library. We have imported so many classes, so many in the sense whatever we were required in data preprocessing part. So in that context we have used different classes of sklearn library. Now here in case of applying the feature scaling on the given data set, we are going to use standard scalar class. Now assume the dataset we have been discussing since the first lecture of feature scaling. So we have a data set comprising of features like country, age, salary and purchased. So of this we have country, age and salary as the independent feature vector and purchased as the dependent variable vector. Now here we need to apply feature scaling on the independent feature matrix, and to do that we call here the standard scalar class, assuming that we have imported that class from the sklearn preprocessing library. Now here I have created one object reference, or I may say the vector matrix vector which we are going to create by applying feature scaling. So I used here sc_x as the object reference for the standard scalar object. So I call standard scalar class. I need to pass no argument to this standard scalar class constructor. So here an object will be created and it will be referred by sc_x. After that, whatever object reference we have created, that is called sc_x, with that I invoke fit_transform method, so that the created object with which we call the fit_transform method, this method will apply the feature scaling method, that is called standardization method or standard scalar, on the x_train matrix. What is this x_train? It is a matrix created for the features of our given data sets. What are those features? Those features of the features of the independent variable vector of the given data set, that is country, age and salary. So here whatever is there in xtrain, so that particular part will be scaled with standard scalar, and the new value of xtrain will be the scaled value. So whatever values you see here, 44, 72,000, 27, 48,000 for the observations like France, Spain. So these things will be scaled in a uniform scale value so that our model will be working properly for doing further prediction. So I hope that you understand this, because we already had a very important and very clear-cut discussion about why scaling and how scaling is done using standard scalar method. So here we need to just call fit underscore transform, so that will apply the standard scalar to this training model. So whatever training dataset we had, to which we were referring using x underscore train, that will be taken by the fit underscore transform method, and after a change, whatever new matrix we get, that will be referred by x underscore train. That means we are just modifying the original given data set of the independent feature vector into new scaled vector. Now here we also have to apply the scaling to the test part, but we don't call here fit underscore transform method. The reason is, whatever scaling we have done for the k observation out of total n observation in the data set, assume that we are having say some 10 records in the data set. Of that, 20% goes to test and 80% goes to train. So whatever scaling, whatever mean we found in the training data set, that is on the 8 records, 80% records, whatever standard deviation we have calculated on those 8 or 80% records, same standard deviation and mean is to be applied with the remaining 20% test record, so that our model will be able to predict the newly arrived data. That is, it will be able to predict or do prediction on the newly arrived data properly with the same scale which it had at the time of training. So that's why we don't have to call fit underscore transform method. Otherwise, it will calculate afresh all these standard deviation values and even mean values on the given column. So we don't want that. What we want, that whatever training was given to the model based on same training set, whatever values we were calculated or we calculated using standard scalar for say mean and standard deviation, with the same mean and standard deviation we want to apply the scaling on the test. So that's why we call only the transform method. So this is the difference between fit transform and transform method. So to use the same scalar as used in the training set, we need to call just transform method. So I call x and sc underscore x with this object, the transform method. I pass the test data set and I update my data set with the scaled values. So let us see this practical. So here is the execution. So I have just included all these steps we learned in the earlier step, and then we have this execution. So I have executed this again in the Spyder environment. So I expect you to run this code in Spyder environment at your desktop and test it. So after execution, I got the list of variables created in the variable explorer of the Spyder. Here I just double click on x underscore train. So I get this window popped out, and this is the execution before applying the scaling. In the next slide, we'll see what when we apply the scaling. So here again we are having x underscore test before scaling. Now in the next slide we'll see what after applying the scaling. What will happen to the data set x underscore test and data set x underscore train. So here is the output, that when I select my feature scaling part code of the entire pre-processing and all these steps we followed right from first step to last feature scaling step. So when I execute this complete code and now I inspect x underscore train object, what do I get? I get all the values which were earlier in terms of say a few hundred or thousands. For example, age values were falling within range of 100, 0 to 100, and salaries were in a huge digit like 48,000 or 43,000, so like that. So now if you observe carefully, the values, whatever values you are getting here are in the range of -30 plus 3. That means whatever features we have, all the features, even though those features were having values of different range, or rather I may say the features having values with a huge difference in the actual case, those all features are now scaled within the range of +3, 0, -3. This is for x underscore train. Similarly, we will see what of x underscore test. So here is the testing. So now I double click on x underscore test. So I got this scaling. So here we observe that scaling is applied to both test and train part of the independent feature vector. Now let us see the scenario of applying feature scaling on both test and training altogether. So here we have 4 snaps. First snap is of x underscore train before applying the feature scaling. So here if you see carefully, these are the categorical variables called country. We are having 3 countries, so that's why our categorical variables are basically saved in form of 3 columns 0, 1 and 2. As we are having 3 different countries values, we have age as one of the columns of the independent feature vector, and then salary. Now salary value is ranging in few thousands, that is almost a 5-digit value, and here age value is simply the 2-digit value, and again country is just a bit representation, and all these are in different scales. So if we want that our prediction model should work properly, then after applying feature scaling, it scales all the entries of the independent feature vectors training part into the values ranging from -3, 0, +3. So if you see here, the values are within this range. That means all the features of the independent feature vector are within the same scale. Now we have already learned this thing in the last lecture, that why we need to apply the scaling. So here we are using standard scaler. Now for the test part, so as we know that original dataset rather was having some 10 observations, so 80% observations we have put under training. So 0 to 7, these are the 8 records out of 10, and 20% for the testing. Now 0, 1, these are the 2 records which are 80% of the 10 records of our original dataset. Now here the values are 30, 50, 54,000, 83,000. Now this drastic variation of the values of different features are scaled to the values within the range of -3, 0, +3. Hope you understood this. Now in the remaining discussion of the machine learning under this series of lectures, we will be required all these 7 steps of data pre-processing. So any algorithm which will be studying later, like regression or say support vector machine or all other remaining algorithms of the machine learning needs all these algorithms need basically these steps. So I again recommend you or suggest you to study these 7 steps. If you feel anywhere uncomfortable, watch that video once, twice, thrice, and get comfortable first with these steps so that the remaining algorithms will be very easy to learn and we can eventually master in applying our machine learning concept in any real world problem. Hope you understood all these steps. Dear learners, here we end the lecture. We'll see the very first algorithm of machine learning, actual algorithm, in the next lecture. Dear learners, how was the lecture? Hope you understand the things we present. We are from GCS Solutions, making technology easy to learn. Till next lecture, happy data analysis.